Good evening, A-Clubbers. It's Mike Nichols here, and I hope you're doing well. The purpose of this recording is to provide a quick overview of the items that we covered at the A-Club meeting last Saturday, September 7th, 2013. And Chris Rogers and Brandon Gibson have helped me tremendously on this document, so I know you're going to like what you see because it's all about working to support our university coach battle and bringing our family together to support them as we go through all these different stages and as our athletes mature. So I'm excited, and I'll do as good a job as I can in covering this and then helping you to understand it. And then what I'd ask you to do is go back and look at the document one more time without listening to the recording, and that way that should help you digest what we covered. So let's get started here. The recap of what we'll be covering is who was at the meeting, the purpose, major topics. In the center we've inserted kind of the landscape to help you just think about what every college and university deals with, not just the University of Alabama. So these are situations across the board that all colleges and universities deal with. But we just wanted to put them out there to kind of help you think about how we're going down this road and how we're going to accomplish what we need to accomplish. First off, who attended the meeting? As you'll see the picture of those folks in attendance, and then up on the right hand corner you'll see those who joined us via conference call. The purpose of our meeting was simply to revisit the purpose and relevance of A-Club and how it can thrive and coexist going forward. The major topics of discussion, Cecil Ingram began the meeting by covering the three purposes of the A-Club as it exists today. And those are outlined right there. Then as a group we talked about the A-Club mission and the vision. And then finally Coach Battle talked about keeping us ahead of the pack. What do we do that's unique and different? And specifically talking about life skills and real work experience that shows initiative and helps our athletes have some resume material when they graduate. I talked about painting the landscape and things to consider as we talk about the 7 stages of our college athlete. And again, this is not exclusive to Alabama. This is across the board. There could be 10 stages, there could be 12 stages, but we wanted just to paint a couple of things that we realize we're dealing with so that we understand where we are and then we can move forward from there. The first is NFL players. NFL players as a whole typically check out after the college senior bowl game. Those that are going to the NFL or think they have a shot to go to the NFL. And if they make it in the league, they kind of tend to check out until they're out of the league or until they get cut. And what we want to do is think about the Mark Brunells and the Warren Sepps, because if we can forge relationships with these players as freshmen and help mentor them, hopefully this will eliminate this checking out, because it's very valuable to stay in touch with your mentor forever, not just when you need it. So we want to think about how do we bridge this gap and how do we keep folks engaged even when they're in the league. The second situation, and we put Alfred McCullough up here, is working to make it in the league for 2 to 4 years. They may be in the Arena League or the CFL, but they need something to do in the off season. This is Alfred McCullough. He plays for the Tampa Bay Storm, looking for part-time employment, and just an example of how we can help someone in this situation. The third and fourth, and these are just some examples. Again, this is a moving target, so this may not exist today, but here's some things we've dealt with before. Finishing a degree and ready to interview. Those that have come back to town or are finishing up their degree. And then the fourth situation, they're not pursuing football career. They're ready to go work today. The fifth situation is, struggling or unsettled. They want to move careers. It is a fact today that this is much more understood and much more acceptable that you'll have 4 to 6 jobs within the span of your career. So there's no shame in this. And we want to make sure that we're there for these folks. The sixth situation is struggling with personal life. There are those players who have feelings of resentment towards their university, those that feel they were used for profit by their university. And we are very blessed to have a coaching staff and administrative staff who reach out for these folks day in and day out, extending the olive branch, trying to pull them back into the family and help them. So we're already attacking that, but it's just a situation to acknowledge that it does exist out there. One of the things that was brought up was about blue-collar guys. We push folks to be, professional, finance, physicians, lawyers, and those are great too. But think about the value of a regular Joe job for 1 or 2 years to kind of get your bearings and get your feel of what you really do want to do. It's really not a bad thing. And here's an example of Kevin Lee, who's worked 12 years with Coca-Cola and understands it. And Eric Anders, who really wants to be a fireman. Our folks graduate, and they're blessed to graduate without debt. So think about these blue-collar jobs. There's a lot of value in that in terms of just getting grounded. And also, they already know how to work hard. So that's something that they can just step right into. Where are the stars? A lot of universities have issues with stars coming back. And I've just listed a couple of here, but, how do universities get stars to come back and be a part of clubs? It just seems to be something that we need to think about. How do we bridge this gap? Regardless of the circumstances, these are folks that have contributed, and how do we do this? Maybe we get one back and it kind of builds a snowball effect. Just something to consider. One of the things Coach Battle talked about with a lot of passion is the opening of the Career Center, and we wanted to put down a couple of thoughts about that. When the Career Center opens, how do we actively make job shadowing, externships, and internships available? How do we get folks engaged as freshmen so that they can share stories as their sophomores, juniors, and seniors? Because if they're in the fold and they're active in the program, they have a lot more cachet to communicate and convince other players, other current players, to be involved. Coaches, we have some great coaches. If you take Coach Rump, Coach Panunzio, Coach Williams, and some of the Kirby Smart. If you are in front of these coaches and you say, call us, they will do it. They remember it, and they will reference you throughout the career of that player, and that's very valuable. And then another thing to think about is wall of resources. In the Career Center, take a wall and put up pictures of all the folks by their job segment. These folks are in the medical community. These folks are in manufacturing. These folks are in finance. Put a number up there and say, anytime you want to shadow, there's their phone number, call them. Even if it's a half day, they will work to get you in. We understand the reality that folks, when they get a day off or 2 days off, they want to go home. But if we could mandate 6 of these shadows over their career and make 2 of them mandatory during the time they're freshmen, they'll get them under their belt and they'll understand the value early of these opportunities and networking with a club and other clubs that have folks that can help them out. And then also, thinking about behavioral style interviews, dressing for success. We've heard some horror stories, not just from Alabama, but from a lot of other places, about duds showing up late, not wearing the appropriate attire, not having a list of questions. not understanding disc and values and how to break the ice and how to build chemistry early to get down to what you're really about, what value you can bring to that organization. So huge opportunity there. Just think about filming someone when they come out as a freshman, filming them without prepping them and saying, all right, you're going to interview for this job. Let's go do it. Here's 3 minutes. And think about coming back when they're a senior and showing them how different it will be and how much progress they'll make. I mean, that is a tale of the tape. And then, because in the end of the day, it's all about telling a better story. We want to help our folks tell a better story and do that in a professional, non-threatening manner. Maintaining an inventory of athletes. We know there's probably someone out there who has this inventory, but you think about, we're just not an organization that's continental U.S. We're worldwide. Here's an example of Matthew Pine, who snapped for us in the 90s. He lives in Europe. So we are worldwide, and we're proud of that. Here are some A-Club ideas. These are the ideas that Butch Ellard put on the board for us to talk about. And as you'll look, one of the most important things here you'll see is just relationships, period. We all know that at the end of the day, in the span of our lifetime, relationships are all that really matter. It's not networking. Networking is important, but it's about real relationships, looking folks in the eye and developing that trust and rapport. So these are some great ideas. I hope you'll look over these. Next steps. Coach Battle talked about getting a group together sooner than later and defining the mission and the vision. And I know this is going to happen. And then we talked about having the next meeting on Friday, October 24th. So I know Doc will be getting out the information on that. So be looking for that. Here's some more commentary from the meeting. I wanted to provide this. And then lastly, communication. How do we communicate? So many options to communicate today, whether it's Facebook, text message, Twitter, many options. So we got to make sure that we all agree on how to go forward with this. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope you'll go back and review this deck and look at it independently, form your own opinion, and just help us to get better, improve, bring our family together, and just roll tide. Thank you.